Okay, so we will start from the remaining part, risk management or risk management planning. That is a part of the project management planning process. So what is risk? Risk means uncertainty. Uncertainty means that situation which is not predictable in futures. So look at each and every project, they have some risk. Some are less risky projects, some have high risky projects. There are no projects which don't have the risk. Now, being risk, a professional project managers will think to minimize the effect of that risk. Like, if I make investment in investment projects, I want to make investment in the stock market. So stock market investment is a risky, because look at, sometimes we make investment in well financial developed and well reported corporations, but due to the outsider factors, they are negatively affecting on the market performance, and similarly the market situation are also negatively affecting on the corporation as well as. So one is systematic risk and one is unsystematic risk. So unsystematic risk, we can control it, but systematic risk is uncontrollable. So similarly here in the projects, the project manager will make plan to minimize the risk. Like how much are the losses likely to the cost? What might be the losses if the worst situation they are happens or comes in the projects? And what are the alternatives we are using? How can we reduce and eliminate the risk? Like, will the alternative products or will the alternative we are using, so they will minimize the effect of the risk? This is how we can do all these situations. This is called risk management. We need how to properly we can manage the risk of the project. So risk management planning in advance, that should be done. In the risk management plan, the risk analysis are consist, for example, identifying the risk area and the risk factors in those areas. Then assess the risk factors identified and probability of occurrence and potential damages. That how much is the probability of the risk occurrence and how much will be the potential damage. Then assign appropriate resources to reduce the risk or risk factors that are involved. Similarly, identifying and analysis the alternatives available for reducing the risk factors. Project managers select the most promising alternative for each risk factors. They plan implementations of the selected alternatives for each risk factors. All these activities are done by project managers, but it is a part of the planning. In obtaining the feedback to determine the success of the risk reducing actions for each risk factors or not. So that's why risk minimization, that is part of the risk management plan. So hope you will be clarified. The last one, that is performance management plan. Planning should be made that how the management should perform their activities, perform their duties. For the complete checking balance of from start till at the end. So this was the project planning process in which I discussed the main points. Now look at this. If you looked out this diagram, so look at developed project management plan, how we can make the planning. This is our core issue, and now one by one we will discuss. So in first we studied project scope management, that is a part of the planning. Project scope management consists of collection of the requirements, defining the scope, and creating work breakdown structures, which I explain in detail. Collection requirements means to collect the informations from the clients, that what's the clients they are wanting, in which way we will do the projects for the clients, what are the requirements of the clients. Mostly this is used in the simple projects like research and development projects. We collect the informations, and on the basis of those informations, then products and services will be available. When requirements are collected, so after that, defining the scope. The project scope should be defined, and after that, all the activities of the projects that should be divided into their small pieces. In a total project should be consist of the different activities. This is called work breakdown structure. Just simply we can say that work breakdown structure is the timetable, the distribution of the activity and timetables. When this work is done, so then project time management. We will define in the work breakdown structure, we will define the activities that which activities are required to complete these projects. Then we will make sequence of those activities, that which activities should be performed first, then after that, and after that, and after that. For example, if I want to construct a house, so first what I should do? I should give some work to an engineer to make the design of my house. No, no. First, what's I want to buy a plot. For that, I will make arrangement of the finance to buy a land for my home. The idea is come, I buy a home, I buy the area, land. After that, now I should hire the electrician? No, no. I will hire an engineer to make the sketch and design. So, this is called sequence activity. Then, estimate activity resources. I will make estimations that which activity, how much I assign the time for each activity. After estimation the activity resources, we should assign the activity duration. The activity which is need a little bit time, so we will assign short time. But some activity required long period of time. So huge period of time that should be assigned to the lengthy activity. Project management, when that is completed, then cost management. Look at when we do the project and we performing the project activities or the project work packages. So automatically without cost, this is impossible that should be completed. So we must need financial resources here. And if in advance we are not make planning for them, that how much activity will occur cost. So may be possibility that we should not finish the project effectively, because according to in the definition of the project we studied that is a temporary activity which should be done within time and cost. So in advance we will make planning for their cost. So cost estimation should take place. In cost estimation, the project managers will take the help of the finance manager, the budget manager, who will make the budgets, who will make the cost estimation. So some activities, they are short and so simple, so we will assign less cost to them. There are those activities which are lengthy and complex, so huge budget is assigned to them. After the cost estimation, quality management. Quality is also an important factor. Look at, if iPhone launch a new model, each and everything is effective, but if the quality of that iPhone set is not a good quality, so either that project will be successful, no, that model will be flop. So that's why planning for the quality is too much importance. As much as the qualities are strong, so cost will also be high. Keep in mind. So now it depends upon the situations and the client. If the client want
high quality projects. So automatically planning for the all the planning should be made for the high qualities. All things, all the resources will be used quality wise. Then project human resource management. Project human resource planning is an important. Why? To get the accurate and effective result of the project at the end, if we want to a successful result output of the project, so we should need that we should properly manage the human resources of the project. It doesn't mean that, let's suppose, instead of the project manager, we should hire a finance person. Instead of a cobbler, we should hire a mason. No, right man for the right place. This is what's the human resource planning. These are the part of the human resource planning that we can make plan to properly manage the human resource which are used in the projects. Like if there are some research and development projects like the health diseases, so we need to hire some medical scientists, doctors. If there are some engineering projects, so we should hire engineers, not doctors. If there are some economics projects, so we should hire economists. After that, in the project planning process, communication management or communication process. Look at, without communication, there is a possibility that there should be too much failure in the projects. Because sometimes when plans are not properly working and in evaluation stage, when project manager checked out the evaluation stage, so in the evaluation stage is not according to the implementation stage, is not according to the planning stage. So the project manager took the decision of what? Took the decision to bring some contingency plans. So for that purpose, this is very important that they should communicate their subordinates. Or simply we can say that if any changes taken place, if some work that should be taken place, so proper communication are necessarily. So that's why communication is a part of the project planning, that in which way the project humans resource will make communication with each other, that how quickly they can pass their messages. So that is the project communication management planning. The most important one is risk management of the project. Projects consist of the risk, but it doesn't mean that if there in any activity risk will be there, so we should not perform. We will try to minimize this risk. For that we will make plan. How we can do this one? So first one, risk management plan will be prepared, that how to minimize the risk. And in risk management plane, first we will find that to identify the risk, that what are the risk of the project, we will identify. After the identification of the risk, then we will apply qualitative risk analysis and quantitative risk analysis. Different techniques will be applied. Qualitative and quantitative analysis are the different techniques that should be applied, that how to minimize the risk. For example, if you have studied that payback period, IRR, profitability index when we are doing the investment, so we are applying these techniques towards to in advance, that we are wanting to minimize our risk. We are trying to minimize our risk. Just like if I want to buy some, I want to make some investment in the share prices. So we analyze that one. That's all these techniques. Some techniques are qualitative and some techniques are quantitative. You have studied these in the statistics. So I'm not going in the deep explanation of that one. So risk management means that through by the qualitative and quantitative techniques we will apply, and then at the end we will plan the response, that what will be the response. So this was the risk, about the risk planning. Then procurement management. Procurement management, that is relating to the projects purchasing, because project is an activity, so we need some resources for the purchasing to do that project. Now, how and which things which are necessary for a project with minimum cost we will purchase. It doesn't mean that, let's suppose that we should make too much purchases, that the cost of the project becomes high. So in advance, the project manager will make the planning, that how, where, from which resources we should make procurements, and that should be effective. So this was the total scenario of the words of the project management process. Project planning process, this was the total scenario of the project planning process. Next one is project execution process. Look at execution, that is a practical approach of the planning. What's we plan, what's a project manager plan, so then practical shape that should be assigned to those planning. That stage is called what's project execution process, which we will explain in our upcoming class, inshallah. So hope you will understand that what does it mean by project planning process, why we, a project manager or the management, do the project planning. And one thing, it most the questions come in the mind of the student, that all these activities are individually performed by a project manager. No. This is done by a project team. All these activities are done by a project team. Clear? It doesn't mean that all these activities are performed only and only by a single project managers. So inshallah, in the upcoming class I will explain the project execution process. So till then, Allah Hafiz.